Kumusta? Maayong buntag if you are watching this video in the morning, maayong udto if it is in noon, maayong hapon if it is in the afternoon, ug maayong gabi if you are watching this video in the evening. Today we will discover the different ethno-linguistics same with their languages and dialects of Visayas. Come and join me to explore the beauty of Visayas. Adto ta! Okay, so Visayas, ethno-linguistic groups. So let's have a short background first about the Visayas. So the Visayas is a group of islands in central Philippines lying between Luzon and Mindanao. And then the Visayas is divided into three. So we have here the Western Visayas, Central Visayas, and the Eastern Visayas. So in Western Visayas includes Antique, Aklan, Capiz, Iloilo, and Guimaras. The Eastern Visayas includes Samar, Northern and Eastern Samar, Biliran, Leyte, and Southern Leyte, while the Central Visayas includes Negros Occidental, Cebu, Bohol, Negros Oriental, and Siquijor. Then the Bisaya is a general term used to describe different Bisaya ethnic groups and different Bisaya languages. So that is Visayas. So before we enumerate some of the ethno-linguistic tribes of the Visayas, kindly watch this video first to give you some overview of the ethno-linguistic groups that I may not include in my discussion today. So ready? Okay, so from that video, I didn't include in my discussion today the tribe of Hiligaynon and then Mamanwa. So when we say Hiligaynon, they are often referred as Ilonggo and one constitute of the largest Filipino ethnic groups in Visayas. While the Mamanwa, they are found in Agusan del Norte, Surigao del Norte, and Palawan. And then their language is a mixed vernacular or a mixed language of Surigao-non and Cebuano. Now we're going to discuss the other tribes or ethno-linguistic tribes of the Visayas. So let's start from the Cebuano. So the Cebuano, they are the largest subset of the Visayan ethnographic or ethno-linguistic group. So it's like that the Cebuano are the most dominant tribes or ethno-linguistic group in Visayas. Then, the word Cebuano comes from the name of the Philippine island of Cebu and the Spanish suffix ano, which means native of. So, in short, when we say Cebuano, they are the natives of Cebu. Next, we also have here the Waray, so they lived in Eastern Visayas and are majority in the provinces of Samar, Northern Samar, and Eastern Samar. Then technically, they are considered as Visayans even though their cultures are close to the Bicolanos compared to the other Visayans. But remember, the Waray is or they lives in part of the Visayas, so they are still considered as Visayans. Then the Warays are mostly farmers and fishermen. Next, the Abaknon so they live in San Bernardino Strait and Capul Island of Northwest Samar. They are also known as Capul, Capuleno, and Sama. Then they are engaged in fishing and exporting fish. Then also they produce copra and rice. So that are the Abaknon. Next is we have the Bantuanon, so they reside mostly in Ojongan, Corcuera, Calatrava, and Concepcion in Romblon. Then to specify or to know if they belong to this tribe is usually their name starts with letter F. So same thing also in Mountain Province like in Bontoc and Barlig. So you can say that a person is from Bontoc and Barlig because their name usually starts from F also and Ch. Then the Bantuanon value education as most of them consider it a way to improve their lives. So that are the Bantuanon. Next, we also have here the Kinaraya or the Hamtikanon. So they inhabit the coastal areas and riversides of western Panay and interior of Panay Island in the western Visayas region. Then, the Kinaraya or the Hamtikanon tribes are striving to preserve their traditions just like the Muslim wherein they still practice and follow the teaching of the Quran. Because in the Cordillerans and other provinces, I guess, there is a misleading already in their cultures. Okay, so I'll give you some example. Example, in Kalinga, so we have here the culture of Apugid or practice called Apugid, wherein in the past, usually they are conducting Apugid to prolong and heal the disease of the old man or woman. But at present, many Kalinga people are doing Apugid even though the old man or the woman are still strong. So there is already a misconception or misleading of cultures. Okay? Next is that we also have here the Sulod. So most populous of the varied cultural linguistic groups inhabiting the mountains of central Panay, Tapaz, Capiz, Lamboano, Iloilo, and Valderrama, Antique provinces who remain relatively unassimilated. So Sulod literally means from the word closet or room. Okay? So this is the reason why they are still or remain unassimilated. Then the Kinaraya, so their language is a combination of a Kinaraya, which is characterized by many archaic expressions and Hiligaynon. But most of the Sulod are monolingual. So when we say monolingual, the Sulod people speaks one language. So that is the Sulod. So next after this one is we also have here what is a dialect. We already enumerate some of the ethno-linguistic groups and tribes of Visayas, right? Now, let's move to their dialect or their languages. So when we say dialect, it is a variety of language that is a characteristic of a particular group of the language's speakers. So it's like that this is the language used by a group of people in a specific place in a specific province. So that is a dialect. So in Visayas, we have here a survey. So this is the top 3 dialects in Visayas. So number 1 there is we have the Cebuano. So there are almost 20 million Visayan people who speak Cebuano. Then Hiligaynon as the second, which is 10 million. Then Waray as the third language spoken or speak in Visayas. So that are the top 3 dialects in Visayas. So next, let's move to their cultures and beliefs. But before that one, kindly watch this video first. the video, you observe that in the video they presented some tourist spots, and then you also watch there from the video the different festivals celebrated in Visayas. So let's discuss some of their cultures and beliefs. So let's start first from the festivals. So number one here is we have the Sinulog. So they are conducting or celebrating the Sinulog to commemorate the Filipino people's acceptance of Christianity and rejection of their former enemies' beliefs. Then it's celebrated every third Sunday of January in Cebu City. Okay, so remember, the first mass happened in Cebu. Okay, next we also have here the mascara. So the word mascara come from the word mas, which means a multitude of people, and Spanish word cara means face, thus forming the mascara a multitude of faces. Then it's celebrated third week of October, and then the nearest celebration of the Mascara Festival is on October 19, and then they celebrated this one in Bacolod. Next, we also have here the Sandugo or the Sanduguan between Dato Sikatuna and Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. So they celebrated the Sandugo Festival in order to commemorate also the Treaty of Friendship. Then it's held every July. Next, we also have here the Ati-Atihan, so to be like itas or make-believe atis. And then it's held every January in honor of Santo Niño. Then Pintados or the Kasadyaan, so it's a cultural and religious celebration. So it's a mix of showing their cultures as well as their religion, and then held every June 29. Then next, the Dinagyang Festival. So this is the Iloilo City's version of Ati-Atihan, but the difference is that in celebrating the Dinagyang Festival, the choreography is more impressive, and then so also with the costumes and attires worn by the participating tribes or people. Let's move forward to the traditions of the Visayan people or the Bisaya. So first one here is we have the birth. So in welcoming the baby, they are going to place a pomelo leaves under the house to drive away all evil spirits. And then when the woman is in labor, the family will burn some dried leaves and roots so that the smoke will free the mother from painful labor pains. Then when the child is born, so the placenta is buried on the seashore to ensure the baby's good health. Then during the first haircut of the baby, they are going to get some pieces of hair and set aside and inserted it in a prayer book or any book to make the child a wide reader when he grows up. Then during baptism also, so when the child is born, so after a few days, they're going to baptize already the baby. And then godparents are carefully chosen because remember, godparents serve as the second parent of the child. Next, in terms of the courtship, so first step is to visit the girl in their home. So it's like there is a similarity in some cultures of the people in the lowlands, the culture of Harana. So that's it. So there's a similarity in that one. And then mediator, so the man can also get a mediator, and then this mediator will bring food and drinks for merrymaking in the house of the girl. Then here in Visayas also, dowry is very popular. Same with the Muslims. So when we say dowry, this is a certain amount of money or valuable jewelries. Next, we also have here during their marriage. So all preparations for the wedding is done at the groom's house, unlike in the cultures of the Cordillerans wherein preparations of the wedding is done at the bride's house. Then after wedding ceremony, 2 plates filled with water and some leaves of the San Francisco plant are placed at the foot of the stairs for the newlyweds to step on. So that is part of the cultures after wedding ceremony. Then in addition to that one, an old woman who is a member of the bride's family were going to comb the hair of the newlyweds and offer some advice for happy life together. Then it is believed in Visayas that by stepping on the plates and combing, so the couple will have an orderly and harmonious life. Then here are some of the superstitious beliefs of the Visayas or the Bisaya. So in planting or leaf, that if you're going to plant during the low tide, the plants were going to bear more fruits. That's the reason why farmers observe the movement of the tides before planting anything. Same also if the skies are filled with thousands of stars, they believe that it is best to plant, for it will bear plenty of fruits. So that is their beliefs during planting or in planting. Next, in courtship or during courtship, so when a star is close to the moon, it is believed that it is the proper time to court a lady. So they believe also here that the man's proposal will readily be accepted. Next is in illness, so the sick person is being punished by the fairies because of his carelessness or naughtiness. So they are going to call an herbolario to perform the healing ceremony. So there's a similarity again in some of the provinces here, not only for the highlands but in the lowlands. So we have the albulario, right? So that is very popular. So albulario is just like the herbolario in Visayas. Then the family will kill or dress a pig or 2 chickens on this occasion in order to heal the sick person. So that are their superstitious beliefs in Visayas. In terms for the language as a unifying factor for independence, in general, Filipinos have a strong connection to the area in which they were born and raised. And so, for many Filipinos, extended family and the local area is just as important as their Filipino heritage. As a result, citizens do not define themselves as Filipino, but they define themselves by town, district, and ethno-linguistic background. Even though the Visayas or any region have different languages, they adopted the English language. So this English language is the most used non-native language, and then this served as the secondary language for many, including most professionals, academics, and government workers, as a means of communication. So that ends my report and are the reference that I used in making my report. Salamat sa pagpaminaw. God bless ug pag-amping kanunay.